All right, Jim. Well, we
got a new world champion.
That's right. We're back to Raw. I forgot all about that. I was about to go in a completely different direction.
Well, I want to mention it.
That's right.
I want to mention it because we gotta recognize these milestones here. But Gunther beat Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title #2. And of course, that's been even though Jey has been involved with the other folks and the tag match and various other things, Gunther's still been on him. And I got to be honest with you again. I think the time was right for this because, and the match again, a good match. And Jey, got the injured ribs and they worked on him and that was part of his downfall, but Gunther just got the sleeper and choked him out. And they're protecting Gunther, who's very valuable to them, but Gunther is a kind of guy that can't lose more than every so often. And when it counts in a big show, he's lost twice, and both of them were big matches, big shows, made the point, and now he's won the belt back. Jay's a guy now you can beat him. Because I think they realized Jey got over so well with the people that if he didn't win something big, they were going to damage him. And that's why they put this belt on him. And he's had it long enough that it wasn't a fluke or a joke or just something, blah, blah, blah. He's had it. He's defended it. But now Gunther needs the belt more than Jey does because Gunther needs to keep his heat. Gunther needs to be a monster that still needs to be slayed, and it's rare when it happens. Whereas Jey now has had it long enough, as I said, that it wasn't a fluke, but you avoid some blowback because at some point, everybody likes the music, everybody likes the entrance, everybody likes Jey and his promos and the way he sounds and feels heartfelt. But sooner or later, they're going to start looking at him and go, wait a minute, now Jey's the world champion with this roster, with all of these guys, and there may be some blowback. This way, he won it when it meant the most. He held it long enough. It wasn't a fluke. He can always say he was a world champion and can always be in contention for it again. Didn't hurt him at all in terms of how the people like him. And it helped Gunther and it freshens that up. So that's why, again, this was perfect. And normally you don't get the guy regaining it back from the guy that lost it from him anymore or lost it from him. You don't anymore in modern wrestling get the previous champion regaining the belt from the guy that beat him for it very often. And in this case, I think it fit. And I think the timing was about right. And, we've been in the past, we've been hopeful that they wouldn't do anything to damage Gunther because he is, as I've said, the perfect wrestler. And I think they helped him here without hurting Jey. So for all those reasons, I was in favor of this also. But you tell me, Brian.
I mean, I think it's the right move. Jey Uso winning the belt was a bit of a surprise in terms of the decision to go that way. And then it worked. And the fans were really into it. But like you said, it couldn't last forever. He came out with his son. I don't know why, but that made me think, oh, this is definitely a title change. Just because that's like the ultimate.
Well,
moment.
he was in the walk-in at Money in the Bank too.
Yeah.
So at least he'd been there the day before, but yeah.
I think WWE booked Gunther better since he lost the belt than almost anyone who's like lost the belt and you're waiting for them to do something else. He didn't come down a notch at all. The fans enjoyed chanting "You tapped out," but beyond that, he's still been presented strong. He's now the world champion again. The booking of him versus the booking of Cody, since they each lost the belt, has been night and day.
Boy, we ought to sometimes see Cody and Gunther. That would be interesting. They could have a rip snorter, a stem winder.
After Cena, because otherwise it's just a setup to the Cena rematch.
Well, yeah. but they've got time because they're both young. But anyway, so again, Jey still over, lost the title. Gunther, all is right again with the world. And then there was a bunch of other stuff because it was almost 3 hours, but that was my highlights of Raw. Because when they do 10 hours of programming in 3 days, we have to just kind of hit the high points.
Well, that was WWE Raw, another spectacular on Netflix. All right, let's move on from there.
Streaming television, yeah. Screaming television, because it makes me scream and cuss.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to keep going. Just cuss was the end word, and we are going to continue.
Cuss was the end word. Scream and cuss.
We are going to continue on here. There we go, with the organ.